be ready to go. Thank you guys for joining me today. Unafraid, right or wrong. We got a couple really good topics on deck for you guys today. First of which, there was an article on USA Today talking about Colin Kaepernick, about why he was not signed to the Baltimore Ravens. It had to do with his girlfriend's tweet and all of this. The second thing up that we have is the Red Sox are cheaters. They are cheaters. I mean, if I were Manfred, I would consider like some type of postseason, not ban, but I mean, there's something has to be done about this. And the last thing is that Texas A&M fans, they are delusional. They lost to UCLA. Now they want Kevin Sumlin fired. They're out of their damn mind. So first off, we're going to start with Colin Kaepernick. About the USA Today article that came out. Ray Lewis said, oh, we were close to signing him in Baltimore. He don't own the damn Baltimore Ravens, first of all. That we were close to signing him, and then his girlfriend posted this tweet. Okay. And her tweet, it had Ray Lewis hugging the Baltimore Ravens owner, and it like a picture with Django Unchained. And so here's the truth about this situation, is that that's a very convenient excuse to not do something that you really didn't want to do in the first place. Because he already consulted the fans, said, oh, we had a fan forum, right? We're going to have a fan forum to figure out if we need to sign Colin Kaepernick. So that doesn't even make sense, right? Why do you need to have a fan forum for that? Why do you need to have a fan forum? But here's what really, really happened. The reason why Ray Lewis is even saying this stuff, because he's upset with Colin Kaepernick. Let me tell you why Ray Lewis is upset with Colin Kaepernick. It's because when he went on Undisputed, on FS1, when Ray Lewis went on there, they asked him about Colin Kaepernick and all that. And he was basically saying, yes, I want him to get signed and all this, but he needs to quit the protests. That he needs to get back to football and let all these things go, right? And yes, that makes sense to Ray Lewis on some level. But this is a man in Colin Kaepernick who has made it his mission of not just standing up for himself, but standing up for other people. When Ray Lewis made comments like, oh, when he specifically said in the video that he posted after he got off of FS1 and saw his mentions on his Twitter feed, and when his feelings were hurt and he was upset and he was riding back and he decided to make a video and he decided to say, oh, people have been doing this for a long time, taking up the cause that you're taking up, Colin. People have been trying it for years. His tone in that was basically saying, give up. You don't give up. You don't give up. This doesn't make sense. Like, just because something is hard, just because it's uncomfortable, you don't give up. And so people of color and other people as well looked at Ray Lewis's comments. They've looked at LaShawn McCoy's ridiculous comments about Colin Kaepernick and saying, you know what? I don't know about you, buddy. I don't know what you're thinking about. So Ray Lewis is upset with Colin Kaepernick about the backlash. Because the reality is this. NFL owners sign who they want to be on their team. They don't hold fan summits. They don't go ask people to sign who they're going to sign. They don't ask before they sign Adrian Peterson after he had the thing with beating his kid. They don't ask should they sign Greg Hardy. They don't ask should they sign the kicker in the Giants. They don't ask these things. Steve Bisciotti, the Ravens owner, was trying to find a way not to sign Colin Kaepernick. And this tweet by Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend gave him the out that he really wanted and really needed to not do it. So now he can save face and say, you know what? Oh, man, I really wanted to sign him. But this tweet, though, I'm not buying it. But I will agree with this point, is that his girlfriend should not have sent that tweet. 100% about that. Because here's the thing about being a professional athlete or being in media or being famous at all. Your wife, your sisters, your brother, your dad, your uncle, everybody else in your family that you are related to on some level has a voice. And if they say something, people assume that they're speaking for you. And that's not what happened. Because the truth is this. I heard some stats earlier today about quarterbacks having jobs. Because there have been so many people saying, oh, Colin Kaepernick's not good enough. All this. Hello, Mom. That he shouldn't be signed and he's not good enough. Here's a little history lesson. In the 98 years that they've been playing professional football, do you know how many quarterbacks have been 29 years old and thrown at least 200 passes the year before? I'll tell you how many. 144. And out of those 144 quarterbacks, do you know how many were on NFL rosters the next season? How many? All of them except for one, and that was Bobby A. Barrett because he was holding out. Everybody keeps talking about we need to put our politics aside when it comes to sports. The owners are clearly putting politics in this by not signing Colin Kaepernick when he should be on an NFL roster. And then now to try to find some sort of, this is just a PR spin, trying to blame it on his girlfriend's tweet. Oh, well, if she hadn't tweeted this, then we definitely would have signed Colin Kaepernick. BS. Because if you wanted him signed, you would have signed him. The same way that every other team signs whatever player that they want, despite fan backlash and outrage. They'll give a player a $50 million contract, and fans will be like, no, we don't want him here. He's a bum. They don't really care. NFL's not losing viewership. That's a lie. That's a lie. People are trying to tell you the league didn't lose viewership. So don't believe the lies, people. This is not what it is. And then to take it even further, you have had other people speak out. You've had Aaron Rodgers speak out because people have been critical of white quarterbacks for not speaking out because that they believe that will affect some kind of change. Aaron Rodgers speaks out. Cam Newton now speaks out about Kaepernick. That he should be on an NFL roster. He is good enough. The stats say it. Everything says it. So this tweet is just a convenient excuse. It's just another opportunity to try to change the narrative and try to say, oh, well, it's because of this. We're going to blame it on this. We're going to blame it on that. And then I asked a question yesterday, and I didn't really get a full answer. If you guys have any answers to this, please let me know. Does anybody believe? Well, actually, how many quarterbacks is it going to take to get hurt for Colin Kaepernick to get signed? That's a legit question. I got this question. How many quarterbacks is it going to take to get hurt for Colin Kaepernick to get signed? Because teams are already facing quarterback issues right now. Answer that for me. And while I wait for some of your responses, you guys can go on, share the feed, like the feed, make sure we can continue the conversation with even more people around here. Next up, though, Texas A&M. Texas A&M, their booster, after they lost to UCLA, posted on his Facebook saying, oh, Kevin Sumlin needs to be fired. We need to let this bum go, and it's been a long time coming. Offense stagnant, all of these things. Do you realize how ridiculous that is? Here's the thing. Okay, so he's supposed to be a booster, board of regents, whatever the hell this dude is, right? If you have to take the social media to get the coach fired, you don't have as much juice as you thought you had anyway. You don't have to take to social media to get the coach fired if you really have juice. So this is a dude that has no juice, first of all. And the second thing is, Texas A&M fans that want Sumlin fired, you guys are unrealistic. It makes 0 sense why you would want Kevin Sumlin fired. Yes, they lost to UCLA. They lost a 34-point victory. A 34-point lead. But you want the man fired? Let's give you a little bit of Kevin Sumlin era esque stuff going on, right? Here is what Texas A&M was before he got there. Texas A&M's biggest bowl game win ever in their history had been the Holiday Bowl. This man has never finished worse than 8-5. Never. So no losing seasons. Goes to bowl games every year. You were a toilet bowl team. You haven't been good since the Southwest Conference days, man. And who wants this job? I mean, really, think about it. Who can you replace Kevin Sumlin with that's going to do a better job? Your school is in College Station. It's in the middle of nowhere. This is not a destination. Like, this is a college town. This is a small college town. It makes Eugene, Oregon, look like a damn metropolis. He's had fantastic recruiting classes 4 out of the last 5 years. His offense is one of the top offenses in the country every single year. He led Texas A&M to their first 10-win season. People keep talking about, oh, he hasn't been good since Johnny Manziel has been there. This dude has elevated the program that was a B program to like an A- program. Like, kids actually want to go to school at Texas A&M right now. Please tell me why you want this dude fired. Because he lost to UCLA? Oh, we got out coached. Oh, hell, man. You lose football games sometimes. And then to make it even worse, right? Besides that, Texas A&M has been doing an excellent job. I mean, that Kevin Sumlin's been doing an excellent job at Texas A&M. Texas A&M has the third most first-rounders picked in the NFL draft. They came from the Big 12, got thrown into the SEC West, which was the toughest conference in college football. No longer, but it was. I mean, it is hard to win national championships. It's always funny to me when people get this unrealistic view of that we have to have a national championship. Do you really, though? Because they won because they got all these stadiums. They got the stadium expanded. Coaches got paid more money. All this without a national championship. They did it without a national championship. So please explain this to me, why you want the man fired. And what can you get better than Kevin Sumlin? Because the reality of this is, I went to Oregon. I'm an Oregon guy. I love Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly didn't get Oregon top 5 recruiting classes. He didn't. Think he could do it in College Station? Maybe. Maybe not, though. Kevin Sumlin's getting it done. We talk about bowl records. Nick Saban, Kevin Sumlin takes you to a bowl game every year, and he wins some of them. Nick Saban's bowl record. I mean, let's just really be 100% honest and real about this whole situation. Oh, he never loses. This is it. Nick Saban is 11-9 in bowls. Oh, well, Urban Meyer, greatest coach. They got blown out in their last bowl game, 31-0. It is incredible to me why you would want Kevin Sumlin fired. You can't replace him with anything better than what you have right now. You can't. Like, you literally have nothing to replace him with that's better than what you have. It makes zero sense. Makes zero sense. Now, to backtrack for a second, because I just talked about a few minutes ago about Colin Kaepernick being signed and blaming it on his girlfriend's tweet. She shouldn't have sent the tweet, but that's a convenient-ass excuse by the Ravens. And Ray Lewis is bitter, and he is upset with Colin Kaepernick. But I understand why Colin's girlfriend was upset about what Ray Lewis said. Basically saying, give up the cause, play football, sit down, shut up. Yeah, no. But there's another incident that just came out. We just got wind of this today, which is about Michael Bennett. So Michael Bennett is a very outspoken player for the Seattle Seahawks. They have a lot of that roaming around up there in the Northwest. So he was in Vegas for the Pacquiao. For the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor fight. So he was out there for that. Now, mind you, do you know what happened to the man while he was out there? So, I will read to you this. Dear world, I'm going to give you the abbreviated Cliff's Notes version. He was in Vegas for the fight on his day off. After the fight, he was going back to the hotel. Several hundred people heard what sounded like gunshots. He ran like many people in the area for his safety. Vegas police officers singled him out and pointed their guns at him for doing nothing simply than being a black man in the wrong place at the wrong time. They ordered him to the ground, handcuffed him, made his hands go numb, told him they was going to blow his head off and all this if he didn't move. Finally, they figured out, somebody pointed out that he was Michael Bennett, a famous football player. Ended up letting him go. And so in his letter that I tweeted out, so you can check on my Twitter and see it, he says that the system has failed him, that you are essentially, no matter how much money you make, you're still seen as a nigger. And that he can only imagine what Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, and Charlene Lyles felt. And that's the part that is that people don't understand and they don't get about this whole police brutality issue that Colin Kaepernick was standing up for. The idea that if I do nothing wrong, nothing will happen, right? That idea, that doesn't exist. It's not real. It's not life. I've experienced this myself like so many of you have. Just because you do nothing wrong does not mean that nothing bad will happen. These are the facts. Michael Bennett was doing nothing wrong. Nothing wrong at all. Same thing. Same thing with some of these other men and women who have been hurt or killed by not police officers, because I say this all the time. Police officers are good people. However, you do have some criminals that do have badges. And when criminals with badges do bad things, they need to go to jail just like other people out in the world. Just like there are people who are pretending to be pastors that are bad people. There are people that are pretending to be firefighters that set fires. There are people who, there are bad people in all sorts of professions pretending to be upstanding people out in life. And so the idea that we just stand idly by and let things just happen, that's ridiculous. And you are a coward if you do. You are a person who is either unaware or of low moral character if you do not only speak up about these things, but try to affect change in some positive way. I'm not saying that everybody needs to get up on the soapbox and do what Colin Kaepernick is doing. Standing for the national anthem is a personal choice. I stand for the national anthem. But at the same time, I do realize and do understand and do feel that when I look at the history in this country, and I look at how people of color have been treated, truth is, it doesn't always feel good. It doesn't always feel good because because there have been times I've been profiled. There have been times that I have been stopped and all these things. There have been times I've known people that bad things have happened to. I got arrested for no reason one time. So yes, I do have some sensitivity to these things. But this is just reality. And to try to cover up not doing the right thing behind some lame ass excuse about a tweet. Come on, man. You got to give me something better than that. You absolutely have to give me something better than a lame tweet saying that that's not why you didn't sign him. You just use that tweet as a convenient excuse. Convenient excuse. And then I actually had somebody on Twitter today because Joey will be back on with me tomorrow. Joey said to me on Twitter, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow. This fool said to me that maybe Michael Bennett is fabricating some of what he said, or maybe embellishing or exaggerating a little bit. I couldn't even believe it. And then he compared him to OJ. He said, well, what do we think about OJ? And I'm saying, See, the difference is that Michael Bennett has a history of straight shooting, telling it like it is. He's an activist. He's doing all this. He doesn't have to make this up because these things happen on an everyday basis to people. Yeah, but we didn't know much about OJ. Actually, yes, we did. He was a domestic abuser. She was fearing for her life. The writing was on the wall, buddy. The writing was on the wall. You know, and he was clearly unaware and pretending to be something that he was not. So the writing was on the wall. It's not like we didn't know who OJ was. We know who Michael Bennett is. This is just like when LeBron had the thing on the gate when somebody wrote nigger on the gate, on his gate out here in LA. People are like, oh, I need to see the pictures. I need to see the pictures. I don't believe it happened. I need to see the pictures. Ball baloney. You need to see the pictures. Really? Really? You need to be the pictures. Why would this dude make this up? This is not in LeBron's character. This is not who he is. He doesn't need to do this. He has enough fame, attention, and platform all by himself. I mean, the idea that because when certain people claim the victim, what do? Oh, yes. Oh, that had to have happened. Little Johnny said it happened, so it must have happened. Man, stop. The last thing up today, though, moving on to a different note, is cheaters. There's cheaters all around. Cheaters on the Boston Red Sox. So if you have not heard the story, the Boston Red Sox were caught cheating against the Yankees. They were using an Apple Watch to tweet. I'm sorry, an Apple Watch to steal signs. So somebody was watching the game telecast and then stealing signs from the catcher and then relaying them some kind of way to the dugout and then to the batter. Hitting baseballs is very difficult. It is significantly easier if you know what pitch is coming. I am not against stealing signs because you should do it. Hitting baseballs is difficult. You should try to steal signs. However, using technology to steal those signs is prohibited. And I am against using technology to steal signs because that's whack and that's weak. If you can figure out a team's signs, if the man on second base can steal them, he's tipping them off, the catcher's tipping them off, pitcher, whatever, steal those signs, communicate to your batter that way. But to use technology, do it the Patriot way, this is real Boston of you. This is real Boston of you. And if I'm Manfred, the commissioner of the MLB, I am seriously considering what kind of discipline that I'm going to take against the Red Sox right here. Because the Yankees are not that far behind the Red Sox in the AL East. So isn't it completely possible that they've won a couple extra games because of this? Isn't that entirely possible? I believe it's possible. You have to believe it's possible because it's just true that it is probable and within reason. So under no circumstances, if I'm Commissioner Manfred, am I leaving, not allowing the Red Sox to go to the playoffs off the table? Because that's definitely on the table. That's definitely on the table. Because if you don't punish people for doing stuff like this, they will continue to do it. They will bend the rules, all this stuff. And when I say this is very Boston of you, it is because I've played against the Patriots numerous times. Had the field unfrozen on part of the field. They have, before a kicker was going to make a kick, it started way back in the 80s. Kicker was going to make a kick, came out and snowplowed it for him. Coaches getting stuck in elevators before halftime, during halftime. This is what they do. Boston strong. I like the city of Boston. And they love their champions and they live by the motto, apparently, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Yep, that too. Turn on alarms in the hotel rooms. It is very Boston of them. Very, very Boston of these dudes. And I mean, stealing signs is part of baseball, but under no circumstances am I allowing this to continue to go on. You guys, I appreciate you guys joining me today on Unafraid, Right or Wrong. Love you guys joining me every day. Please share the feed, like the feed, continue the conversation. I will be back tomorrow. If you have anything any comments, suggestions, thoughts, please send them my way via Twitter, Instagram. Send me an email. My link's in the bio. Same old, same old. Catch you guys tomorrow.